Welcome to the Roadmap to Secure Love. In today's episode, Kim and Kyle discuss how sharing personal details about your partner without consent can quietly erode trust and emotional safety. Let's dive in.
Share about your partner when they're not around? What do you tell your friends? What do you tell your coworkers? What do you tell them when your partner is around? Do you make fun of your partner in front of your friends? How does your partner feel about that? Partners do not have agreements about what they share in public and what they keep private. And this can lead to a whole host of issues where partners can feel betrayed in front of their friends when their spouse or significant other brings up a topic or makes fun of them about something that's deeply vulnerable. And so that's what we want to talk about today is how can you and your partner slow down and start to talk about moments where you felt embarrassed or humiliated, and also about what's really important to talk to just each other, as well as what we share with our friends.
And this is a big topic because I think what happens is sometimes we just like talk because we're with friends and we're doing stuff, and then all of a sudden we've kind of hurt our partner's feelings.
Mhm.
And then that information's out. It's not something that we can take back,
No.
right? It's out there. So if you're telling something about your partner to a friend that your partner's not for or doesn't want to be told, now it's out there.
Mhm.
You can't take it back. And that can be a rupture.
Yeah.
That could be a huge rupture of like, I can't trust you. I'm humiliated. Why did you do that?
Mhm.
Um, and then dealing with the judgment of your friends, if they have them.
Mhm.
It can be really, really difficult.
Mhm. It really can. And I think this is sometimes, even if you're not around your partner and you're talking to your friends, what is the image you're creating of them with your friends? Right. And then how are they talking to their significant others about, oh, well, Stacy said this about her husband, or her husband said this about Stacy, right? And the other couple might gossip about that, right? Or compare, or, you know, it leaves the relationship vulnerable to other people because the partners haven't been clear about what's okay to share and what's not.
Yeah,
And that, just like you said, we sometimes we're just talking and we're just connecting and we just share something and we don't really think much of it, but then our partner's devastated. Or you hear them go, oh, whoa, why are you talking about that right now?
hmm,
And you're like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. But it is a big deal
yeah,
because in that moment, what you're saying is, oh, what just hurt you right there isn't that big of a deal. Get over this. Versus, oh, I touched something sensitive. When we're done with this, we got to talk about what's okay to share and what's not okay. And I got to repair with you.
right, right. And so what do we do, Kyle? Because a lot of people just get together and we, shoot the breeze and we talk and we share partner things. I mean, where is there space for us if we're struggling or if we just want to talk, where we can talk about our relationship?
I mean, the thing that, at least what I really encourage partners is how they talk with each other about that. How do they talk first about the issues they're dealing with and see if they can get some traction with that? If there's a pattern that gets in the way, it might be good to see a therapist if you can do that to get some support. But if not, then you can be like, hey, you and I are having these issues. Is it okay if I actually talk to my friends about this?
Yeah,
Right? Because you don't want to go and talk to your friends and your partner be like, why did you talk about this awful conflict we had?
yeah,
Right? Steve came over and him and I were having some beers and he was talking about how how I yelled or how I shut down and how I don't care about you. What the heck?
yeah. And that's one thing, but I have had this experience often where somebody goes and talks to their friend
Mhm.
and they come back to their relationship and they go, well, so and so said this. And all of a sudden, there's a third party
Mhm.
that's dictating what should happen between you and your partner.
Mhm.
Well, my friend said, well,
Mhm.
my friends do this.
Mhm.
Well, my friend, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. How are they dictating what happens between you and I? And why do they know that? And who made them the expert
Mhm.
on how things should be or how things shouldn't be?
Mhm. Well, and sadly, it's also used as a power move, right? If I can get another person on my back against you, maybe you'll see how much of an issue this is, or maybe you'll change and you'll do it my way. The
Yeah,
problem is your partner has been betrayed by you sharing something that they haven't agreed for you to share. Two, you're now teaming up with someone else outside the relationship against them who doesn't have their voice, doesn't have their perspective, doesn't have their experience. And often when we're sharing with people one on one, we're going to share a pretty good image of ourselves and probably a pretty bad image of our partner, right?
yeah,
Because they're not in the room to have a voice to it.
yeah,
And so it leads to a whole host of issues. And the problem is when we do a move like that, it doesn't help our partner see our pain. It just makes them feel betrayed. It makes them feel like, well, why would I want to team up with you if you're just going to go slander me to our friends?
yeah. And that our friends are the expert, you're the expert, and I am not.
Mhm.
It makes your partner feel disempowered. And you're right. I mean, if I'm talking to a friend about something, I'm going to make everybody else look bad but myself.
Mhm.
Does that mean I'm an awful person? No, it means that I'm human.
Right.
That doesn't mean I don't own my stuff and talk about it, but we all have biases.
Mhm.
And so when you pull in a friend like that, or a family member, or whatever, you're actually disempowering your partner and making them feel like they're not an expert
Mhm.
in their relationship. So if you really need that, if you really need some guidance, go to a therapist who has no stake in the game in the relationship, does not favor one of you over the other, can is trained to parse out what's actually happening at home, who's not going to side.
Right. Because that's what hurts about this is when your partner feels like someone's on your side and they're all alone. They are disempowered. They feel like they lost their voice. They feel like they lost their footing in the relationship.
Mhm.
And it doesn't create change. It doesn't
Oh,
create the growth towards a more secure bond.
yeah. And Kyle, this happens all the time.
Mhm. Constantly.
I mean, I can think of like 10 people
Mhm.
just in my mind
Mhm.
that this happens to. And
Mhm.
it does not create a safety, a united front
Mhm.
within the couple.
Right.
We have to protect that.
Mhm.
When you and your relationship are on the same team, there's nothing that you guys can't accomplish.
Right.
But when we invite other people's ideas, when we talk about things that we shouldn't, it begins to bring cracks
Mhm.
into the foundation of our relationship. And either you have to spend a lot of time repairing and building a new foundation, or it stays cracked, or the house totally falls apart.
Right. Well, that's where the weeds kind of grow, was in the cracks, right? If you have a concrete, and it cracks, you start to see weeds always grow through that, right?
Yeah,
And that's the thing that creates more space between the two of you. And so when we have these in kind of unspoken agreements about what's shared and not shared, it leaves the relationship really vulnerable to intruders, to other people's perspective, to other people's values, and doesn't help both partners go, okay, these are our issues. How do we navigate this together?
yeah,
How do we feel empowered to protect our relationship and work as partners in this?
yeah. And there's something very wonderful and safe when you think about I am protecting my relationship.
Mhm.
It is me and them,
Mhm.
and that is the safety.
Mhm.
There's something very peaceful, very relaxing, very safe in that.
Yeah. I really like the imagery that Stan Tacken talks about as this couple bubble, right? Is we're two-person system, we're constantly in each other's care, and we got to protect each other.
Mhm.
And that is, really getting clear, at least in this conversation, really getting clear with your partner about what's private, what's public. Is it okay to talk about your sex life in front of your friends? Is it not okay? If it is okay, what about that's okay to talk about? What about it's not? Is it
Yeah.
okay to talk about finances? Is it not? If it is, how much of that can you get to talk about?
Mhm.
What is too vulnerable to share? If you talk about your partner making really bad choices when they were 5 years ago or 15 years ago, is that okay for them? Or are they going to feel humiliated? Right?
Yeah.
Parenting, in-laws, trauma, right? There's a whole list of stuff that it's really important for partners to go, is this okay to talk about or is this not? And sometimes you might get a sense of what's not, but it's really important to make that explicit.
Yeah. I love that image about the partner bubble,
Hmm.
you know. So I guess the invitation to our listeners is, what's your partner bubble?
Hmm.
And how do we keep that a safe space and not pop it open?
Right? Yeah. What do we allow outside of that, and what do we allow inside? Right? And just like you talked about, if we're going to our friends and we're bringing that perspective back into the couple bubble, right? Now we have a third party in our couple bubble, in our relationship, dictating how we live our lives.
Yeah.
That's not safe.
It's not safe, nor is it healthy. I mean, we're constantly unwinding, like when we're helping couples around sex, let's say,
Hmm.
we're constantly unwinding the voices that they've heard from other people of
Yeah.
how sex should look like, how often, all of this stuff. And I'm like, do you really want all those people in your bedroom?
Hmm.
Like, you really want grandma in there?
Hmm.
I don't want grandma in there.
Yeah.
And we work really hard to dismantle that so that people can have their own thoughts. The same thing. You really want so and so down the street dictating to you what you guys do in your home when they see you 1 minute or 10 minutes on a phone call, and but you spend 24/7 with your partner? You really want them to have that kind of power? Probably not. Protect our bubbles.
And that's just it, is protecting cannot be done mindlessly. It cannot be done without conversation and dialogue,
Mhm.
right? Guessing is only going to pop the bubble, right? Tacken talks about this. We're all lazy. We're humans. We want to do the easiest thing possible. But when we take the easy route now, it becomes a lot harder later. But if we're willing to take the hard move now, it becomes easier later because we're getting on the same page. And this is the same thing for you as listeners, is how can I go to my partner and us to start chip away about what's okay to talk about, what's not? What's okay to share with our in-laws? What's okay to share with my parents? What's okay to share with our friends, right? And to really slow down and be explicit about that. So you two are on the same page and unified as you move forward through this world.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, we'll keep talking about this, right? How to protect the partner bubble. I
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
And that's what we encourage all of our listeners to do. And keep listening. Keep listening to your partner. Hopefully, keep listening to this podcast. We love that you're here.
Hmm.
And if you have some insight that you'd like to share with us of maybe some ruptures that have happened, before you share your rupture, check with your partner.
Hmm.
Um, or some ideas or thoughts, we'd love to hear about it. We want to be on this journey with you. Feel free to comment below.
Let's recap today's essential takeaways. 1. Define public versus private. 2. Protect the couple bubble. 3. Repair emotional ruptures. And 4. Prioritize mutual consent. Follow Kyle and Kim on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Be sure to sign up for the Secure Attachment Path course to explore your attachment style, uncover relationship patterns, and learn practical tools for building secure connections. Link to the course can be found in the show notes and on our website. Until next time, stay connected and love fully.